eso te está tirando a cagar Nani. He likes your shoes.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm good.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Harlingen City Commission workshop. The time is now 5:30 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. It has been posted as required by state law. We have a quorum of the commission as everyone is present. I ask at this time for everyone to please rise as Commissioner Pettis leads us in our invocation.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. As we begin this meeting, especially in the important work of shaping our city's budget, we ask for wisdom, clarity, and unity. Help us make decisions that reflect integrity, responsibility, and care for our residents. Guide our hearts and minds toward what is right and just. Amen.
Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mark.
Under state law, a conflict of interest exists if a council member or certain members of that person's family has a qualifying financial interest in an agenda item. Members with a conflict of interest cannot participate in the discussion or vote on the agenda item. Are there any known conflicts of interest to disclose at this time?
None. None.
None.
None.
None.
None.
Okay, next we have citizens' communication. At this time, the public is invited to address the city commission and speak on any matter not specifically listed for public hearing elsewhere in this agenda. Please note that the city commission members may not respond to comments or deliberate on topics addressed. Mayor, we have one citizen that signed up, and he is Mr. Raymond Reyes.
All righty.
Good afternoon, Commission Raymond Reyes, 706 Nantucket Drive. You know, it's my first time. I go to the commission meetings all the time. It's my first time at one of these budget things. Excuse me. So I think the budget's, crucially important. Of course, we don't always get what we want for the different departments, but I think as long as we focus on the key things that are actually needed and keep in mind, we should always be approving or giving the things that departments need to make sure the citizens have the best quality of life, while they're, hopefully staying here in Harlingen for the longevity, like myself, for the long term. I don't plan on leaving. I have roots here now, even though I was born and raised in San Antonio. So one thing I can would like to stress, where, of course, it's been stressed a lot, is about the drainage. It's an ongoing issue. It's been an ongoing issue. I myself have been here since '76. And, with this short little burst of Mother Nature a couple of weeks back before I left to Canyon Lake, which, we went up there and it was like 45%, there was really no lake. They had the boat things closed and everything. Then we had this disaster happen up there in North Texas. It just reminds us that, Mother Nature's going to do what she does and stuff. When we had this little short rainfall, immediately some of the streets that are having ongoing issues started to flood right away and stuff. So I think the key is to make sure that that's all getting addressed. It's always, a work in progress. Like I tell my employees, my staff with my venues, but as long as we're making progress and trying to maximize and utilize in the best way every tax dollar that the taxpayer pays, then we'll be good. You can't make everybody happy, and that's just the way it is. You enter the political realm, you're going to have, the opposition saying one thing, but as long as, in general, the right thing's done for the better good of the citizens of Harlingen, then we'll be fine, I think if you're in the political realm, you gotta have thick skin. I know as a business owner, I'm like a tank, because I have a lot of haters. and I keep getting more haters, but that just means I'm doing the right thing. So that's all I have, short and sweet. I think I beat the buzzer, and I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good meeting, afternoon, evening.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
Okay, let's go to item 1, discussion on the proposed City of Harlingen budget for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
Mayor, before we get started, I would just like to make a quick announcement. Ana Hernandez has agreed to accept our planning director position. So Ana, she's in the audience. Would you like to say just a few words before we get started?
Was definitely not ready, but so just wanted to say thank you for the vote of confidence, and I'm very excited about this. Planning is truly my passion, and I have shared that with Mr. Gonzalez many times. And so I'm really excited about implementing a lot of good changes in the planning department, and just look forward to, moving forward the city forward. So thank you.
And she's also agreed to help us with the grants department still, so
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. You've been doing a great job over at the Grants Department, and we are confident that you're going to do just as great over in planning.
Good evening, Mayor, and City Commissioners, and staff. We are on our third workshop, and we've made all of the changes from the previous workshop. And so on this screen, we'll be adding all of the items that we add throughout the workshop, so we can have a total. And then on the other screens, we'll be showing our PowerPoint presentation.
Wait a minute. We're going to be doing what? Adding?
So if we add anything to
Oh,
the
tonight,
budget-
you mean?
Yeah, we'll be adding it to
Okay.
the work, to the Excel
Okay.
sheet.
All right.
So after our second budget workshop on the PowerPoint, you'll see that we added $2,538,000 to our a
Our fund
deduction from
balance.
our fund balance. So our fund balance at the end of, projected at the end of 9/30/2025 is expected to be $33,256,122. We took deductions of $2,583,298, which were the items that we added from the last budget workshop, which are one-time items. So that reduces our beginning fund balance to $30,672,824. So our revenues are projected at $66,933,000 compared to our expenditures that do not include those one-time expenditures of $2.5 million are expected to be $66,119,394. So we are still with revenues over expenditures of $813,842. At the bottom, I did do a little reconcilement of the 120 days. So 120 days minimum required is $21,737,838. I did put the restricted item for fire engines 1 and 2 at $2.4 million, and our encumbrances for $500,000. So our fund balance available at 9/30/2026 after all of the adjustments is $6,848,783.
Now, that 2.4 million that we're holding out of the fund balance, we're not actually going to expense that. We're just taking it out and holding it for when the fire trucks get delivered. We'll have the funds already allocated for that particular expenditure.
Correct. So that'll be committed in the fund balance. Our third slide is still a grant award matches, which have been awarded, and we'll get to that later when we look at the 4B proposed requests.
And this is the only component of the budget that we have right now that's unknown. We'll have a better idea Thursday after we meet with the 4B to see what it is they want to fund for these projects. Now, what we absolutely have to have from the 4B is a $2,070,275, because those are for grants that require a match that have already been funded. And so that is what we consider critical and need to have that. There are also other requests we're going to cover in just a minute that we're asking for, but I don't suspect that all of those will be funded. Some of those are considered maintenance, and the 4B may not be doing any of those, so.
And Gabe, the 148,000, that is our
That's
our
right.
match on these other grants, are they factored in here?
No, they're going to be taken out of the fund balance. But we
But
haven't,
they're not already accounted for?
no,
Okay.
not yet, right, Robert? We haven't accounted for that?
I
Well,
believe
yes.
we have,
On page 3?
the 148.
Oh, we
Yes,
have?
correct, correct.
Okay. Yes, Mayor, we have.
So I assume because you said everything had already, you tallied everything up, so the number that we have here of revenues over expenditures, 813,000, that's taking away the 148,000?
Yes.
Yes, so that will be that is out of the general
It's
fund.
good, okay.
So the next slide is the one-time deductions from fund balance. That's 2,583,298, and this lists out all of the items that were added back as a result of the previous two budget workshops. I don't know if you want me to go through those in detail, but they are listed out there. On page 5, we did put just a little placeholder for the fire engines, but we put it at a $0 because we're not going to advance pay anything. It's just so that we can issue a PO to reserve those fire engines.
So you don't want this money commingled, you?
Right, we separate those, yeah.
I don't think you need to go through the list.
Okay.
Just-
So that second drainage crew, is this now the right total? I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead, but
That's okay.
That's on page 6, Mayor, that you're looking at? Yes.
page 5, 933,000, so it went down slightly?
For the equipment, yes, so the equipment is,
We took out the mowers, Mayor.
Was that a,
Yeah,
Okay.
there were 2 mowers that we took out.
I think we started out like at 1.8, but now it's 900 and some thousand.
and is that going to make the drainage crew effective? They'll have everything that they need?
The
I don't
drain,
know where Chris is. There's Chris.
oh, he's over there. The drainage crew, at least for the short term, is going to focus on helping some of the other drainage districts improve their canals. And so what we wanted to focus on was either widening or deepening the canals themselves. We still want, the goal is not to take over all the operations for those drainage districts. They still have to do some of the work themselves. And so I had talked to Oscar, and I didn't want this crew to be doing any maintenance work like mowing,
For the drainage
for any other
district?
drainage district, yes. And so he agreed to take those out. And with them, he took out the 2 people that were going to be hired for that.
Okay, so they don't need it currently for our maintenance?
Oh, no, they could always use them for something else, but it's just, we're trying to, because this group was going to focus on the other drainage districts. But if we get them, Chris can put them to work someplace else. It's just,
I think what the question the mayor is asking is, we currently have drainage ditches that we need to mow ourselves,
And
that
we-
we own.
yes.
Do we have equipment right now to mow our own ditches and maintain our own ditches?
Yes and no.
We have
So-
somebody that's not going to be enough, is what they're going to tell you.
We
And
currently
that's
have,
what the mayor's driving at.
Yeah.
I just, I just don't want any, not to be, I'm going to be blunt. I just don't want any excuses moving forward. We got everything that we need. I know you're amazing, and you just kind of need the stuff to be able to get the work done. And so this next year is going to be really crucial. And so we're going to be working these drainage crews more than we already are, right? And this is supposed to supplement and then also help us with this collaboration with the other drainage districts. But ultimately, we still need to take care of Harlingen, and we do have, I know we don't have, what was it, 22% of the ditches?
Yes, in the city.
In the city belong to us, and so, and then the rest belong to them. And so they'll continue to do the maintenance of it, and we'll help with the widening, and they'll carry off the dirt and all that other stuff, right, which is the agreement. But do you have the equipment today to maintain within the city limits our responsibility?
the answer is no. So we have 2 boom mowers right now but they're both broken down. One it's a 2008. We spent $18,000 on the last repair on that one, and then we bought one through the last fiscal year's budget. Now, you all approved a new one, which we'll be getting here in about 3 to 4 months, But essentially, when we do get the new boom mower, the old one, that is a 2004, we're gonna have to depreciate. And so we'll only end up with 2 boom mowers, right? So the list that I submitted to Oscar the last time when this was revised was the loader, the backhoe, a dozer, and an excavator. We had left one of the boom mowers in there because if we're going to keep 2, and if y'all approve this one more boom mower, it'll give us a lot more coverage throughout all the drainage ditches that we currently maintain, but also start looking into the maintenance of those additional ditches that we're going to be helping out with the irrigation districts and the drainage districts as well. So the answer is no. We would love to get one more, at least one more, because we had submitted 2 with the original list. But if we can get one more, that would help out, drastically.
I think we're gonna need them.
Yeah, looking at the map, most of our ditches, Danny had sent me a map. A lot of these ditches that we own are Commissioner Morales in your district, Commissioner Mesmar, and Commissioner Kinsley. Those are where most of our city ditches are. So
Right.
you 3 know better than the rest of us the shape that they're in.
And so the Lipscomb and Drain, all south of that, we are going to adopt those, right? And so just the maintenance on that one, I mean, we could utilize one of the boom mowers just dedicated to that. And more than likely, that one personnel, it's going to be dedicated just for that maintenance of that Lipscomb Drain. Then we have all of our ditches, and then we have some of that we're going to be taking over on DD5 and DD6. And so if we want to be effective.
To Gabe's point, we're not, we aren't going to be, just so that we're clear, we're not going to be maintaining those. We're assisting, but because you don't have the capacity, even with your 2 drainage crews, to do all of the maintenance of the widening of these ditches and their responsibility. You're not saying you need the equipment for this, is that, because that's what I'm hearing.
I think realistically, we might need it every once in a while for those, because we already know right now that they're not maintained as much as they should be. And then I know, like in my district, when we had the flood back in March, one of the ditches that was not our responsibility could have used a lot of maintenance and might have prevented some of the flooding if it had been maintained properly.
Is that the text dot one?
No, I'm talking about the one that's behind the, off Wilson, my Pelicans Landing.
But I think that the idea of this collaboration is
Yes.
that they're going to do the maintenance and that the city isn't going to be doing, because since we're going to be doing this additional work and we're going to have an MOU, we're really going to ensure that they continue to do their maintenance.
Yes,
part.
I agree with that 100%, and I'm hoping, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
You're going to need, if we get that mower, you're going to need another employee, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. If you all approve me the boom mower, we can do it with the personnel that's on this spreadsheet.
Oh, really?
I can move people around.
Will that be effective? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we do it now all the time.
'cause
So,
even though, and this is for the commission, even though we have $800,000 in excess revenue, we cannot use that for reoccurring
Right.
operational expenses. So if we hire another person, we're going to have to make some cuts someplace else because
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but what's the cost on the one, there was 2, so what's the cost?
well, the boom mower we can do because it's just a one-time expense.
Okay.
So we can take that out of the fund balance.
How much is it,
But-
Chris?
$299.
300,000, yeah. So, but the fact that he can,
These things are never cheap, man. They're never cheap.
So stressful.
The good thing about these pieces of equipment, right, just like I've mentioned in the past, we created a program to where we know the depreciation of those pieces of equipment. So once like that one, that's anywhere between 7 and 10 years, right? Well, once we meet the 5-6 year mark, then we start, looking at the opportunity of buying a different one through a replacement program. So,
okay, so I think if we just do the boom mower and you can have personnel to cover that from other areas, I think we should be fine. And we should be able to take that out of the fund balance.
All right, let's add it on and move forward.
I agree.
But
Thank you.
to, obviously, just to underscore the mayor's point, we need to make sure that all of our ditches are top
Yes.
priority and done, because we can't be, I don't want to say criticizing, but pointing the finger at someone else when our ditches aren't looking good, and we aren't doing our part.
Right, and I totally agree. And just to add, just a quick point. So Texas, right, the ditch by Haverford, the ditch by Victor Park, we did the maintenance on that ditch, right? They really haven't done any maintenance since we went in there. And we're trying to negotiate something between Texas to where we continue doing the maintenance and they compensate the city in some way, right? I don't think we're there yet, and I don't think that they're looking into doing anything for us. Yet this ditch is going to.
They want to give us the ditch, but they don't want to reimburse us for it, is what the
Exactly,
problem is.
yeah. So if we don't do the maintenance ourselves, even though it's not a ditch, it's a 1.2-mile ditch that in a couple of years, it's going to have those big trees again, and now it's even more work than just rather maintenance.
Right, I understand that, and Gabe, if you could, just try to see if we can set up another meeting to follow up with Alex and his team down here, because we also have some other issues on the mowing of the grass on the expressways, and we've just got a lot to kind of follow up with. So I understand, and we want to make sure to keep people safe, especially, we already know what happens if in that area that was, I think, TxDOT, it was like 10 years or something without any maintenance. But I think what we're trying to say here is that we want to be good partners with the people that are in our surrounding communities, and we're working together, and I'm confident that because we will have these MOUs in place and we're going to be working collaboratively, that they'll do their part in maintaining, because that's what they've expressed to me, that they're going to do that, and we're going to assist with labor. We're trying to work together for the community. TxDOT is a whole other,
Animal.
yes, to put that nicely. So anyhow, I just want to ensure that, I think it's really important that we focus on what's Harlingen first, and then if you have extra time, which you never do, then, move on to other areas. But this really needs to be to mitigate the issues that we have uncovered here over the last few months.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
So no staff member, just the equipment, right?
That's what Chris says we could do. We could we could buy the mower, but he could
Okay.
allocate some of his staff to actually operate it. So that's, Robert, that was 299,000.
Yes, we added that.
You've already had, okay.
So just to go back on the matches, I don't
And
think that,
Robert, real quick, that's going to come out of the fund balance.
yes. On those grants, I don't think that was added, because those are going to be transfers to the 120.
Okay, so
they were in
then,
actual, like, capital outlay expenditures, like the
Okay,
2.5.
well, you want to add them now, the 148?
The 148, yeah, we can add that.
just so that way we have a running total, but this is not a running
711.
total.
It goes down to the bottom. It's because,
This is like your.
like, scroll down
spreadsheet.
to show them the total. So it's going that, is that what you meant? Or did you want, like, the expenditures?
Okay, so obviously,
It's because, like, some of that, like
you're
that.
gonna take it out of the general fund, so that's not going to make a change on the 800,000, isn't that right?
So the 299 is not going to come out of the expenditures, that'll come out of fund balance, but the 148 will.
So all I want to see is make sure that our budget is,
Yeah, so that
yeah.
one.
So then, yeah, because the others are going to be a one-time, and so that's going to add to the 2.5 that you have up here from the deductions.
Right.
Right? So that's going to reduce our money in the general fund, but it's not going to be part of the revenues over expenditures, right?
Right, so right now we'll be at 665, 131 with that subtraction.
Okay. And that's
That's-
with no changes.
That's a revenue, you're talking about the revenues, correct? Over
I'm talking
expenditures?
about the revenues over or under expenditures. So like right now, our net revenues over expenditures is the 813,842. So we subtract the 148,711 for the matches. That'll bring us down to the 665,131.
Okay.
Okay.
It's, because it's hard to do the deduction on that Excel, because some of them come out of fund balance and some of them are coming out of like expenditures. So if we move on to the next item, is the 4B requests on page 9. These are all of the items that we are proposing to take to the 4B to request funding through that board. So that total $4,982,185.
Did we have did we have the library restrooms in here? Or what, that was in the previous time?
I think that was gonna be coming out of this year's budget.
Right,
After we do a
okay.
budget amendment.
That's right. Thanks for the reminder. Okay. Sorry, Robert. go
So
ahead.
we have listed out all of those items, the largest being the 2 million for the Casa del Sol and the 2,070,000 for the grant matches. So that gets us to page 12, where we have proposed non-funded items, which total 4,474,722. And those are all listed there.
Oh, I'm still on.
Since we're going through the proposed non-funded request, on the first one, the Management Information Services, the HPD network switches and routers, Plaza City network switches and routers upgrade.
Yes, those are the network switches that provide the traffic of the data throughout the city networks. The ones that we have right now are over 5 years old, and so it's time to replace.
That's for yours. Is that also, does that also apply to the HPD?
Yes. Most of the routers are in the police department, but it also applies to the other routers that work throughout the other departments. But this is to take care of the whole city networks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we're currently at 665,131. The next page, 17, are all of the positions that have been funded. That's 1,332,463 in positions that have been funded.
Hold up, Robert.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going through some of this stuff here at the last minute. On page 13, the fire suppression continue, flooring station number 8, cabinet stations 1, 3, 7, and 8, lighting station number 8, professional services for various projects, and maybe that's too much. But my question is for you and perhaps Gabe. If we do have extra funds toward the end of the year, can we include this as far as,
We can, Commissioner, but keep in mind that under the professional services, we added an engineer.
no, I'm referring to toward the end of the year, not right now. We
Yeah,
can-
no, yeah, but we added those people to try to help with offset some of this cost. But then the other ones, referring to the fire suppression, we can always bring those back mid-year, looking at our budget to see where we are.
Okay, that's, yeah, because if I see Station 8 3 times here, I'm wondering what other stations also need some dire need of flooring, walls, and so on down the line after, especially after these
That's,
March rains.
that's the station on Grimes, right? Station 8? Yeah.
If I recall correctly, Chief, when we discussed the flooring, we said we can do that in-house, correct? And that does not take up the 30,000. The 30,000 is had we gone out to get a private vendor to do it, correct?
That's correct. If we do it in-house, it'd be a lot cheaper.
Okay, and then for the cabinets, we said our new workshop will produce those cabinets.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Is there other flooring or other walls without the fire departments that need it? Like, I think, the one on Jefferson, it gets pretty flooded in there real fast.
Yeah, that's the one we've been having issues with forever.
And that,
What-
that
what's-
flooring is ceramic now, right?
We ended up doing the flooring this year, right before the flood, actually.
What's that station number?
1, Central. Yeah.
Number 1.
And you said that it held up well against the rain.
It did.
The flooding. That's why that's the same type of flooring. You want to do it Station 8 and slowly through all of them.
Yeah, we've done 3 stations that way already this year.
Now, Station 8 has gotten flooded, right, inside?
No, it has not.
But I think it's a good practice to do that anyway, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Are the walls on Station 1 and throughout the other fire stations, they don't have any mold on them, do they?
Well, the ones that 1 are plaster. They're not actually sheet rock. They're like cemented.
They do get some mold on it, don't they?
As far as I know, it does not have any mold right now.
Thank you.
Any other questions on any other items? or-
Yeah, so the punchline is we're funding some things, and we need another $5 million to fund everything else.
Correct, 4.7.
You got 5 million?
Not yet. Maybe by the end of the
Not
week.
on, not on you, Commissioner.
No.
The city will give you an IOU,
So we,
just saying.
since the last meetings, we did add 25 positions at 1,332,453, and you can review those.
Just to point out the magnitude of the 25 positions that we've added, over the past 3 years, we added a drainage crew, funded the animal shelter, and created a paving crew, and that was 24 full-time positions over 3 years. So we're doing 25 in 1 year, so that's going to put a lot of pressure on the general fund. But I think, they're certainly needed. I just want the commission to know that.
And these positions have been added to the budget, so those
Right.
are reflected in the 800,000. At the last meeting, we did discuss the proposed salary and benefit increases. So
And that's also in the budget.
this is also in the budget.
I believe this is missing that 2% we discussed.
It does not have the 2%. It went with that option of 3%.
There's the 2% for people that are between 75 and director positions, because they've.
We didn't include that in the,
No, we went with the 3%.
thing is that, right now, Commissioner, I wouldn't recommend that we do that right now, because this year, we can certainly undertake that, but when you start working on next year's budget, if the revenues stay consistent with what our expenses are going to be, we're not going to be able to afford that. We're going to have a negative budget.
Is this TMRS going to be every year?
That, the updated service credits,
The updated service credits.
I think they start coming down.
It goes down as the years go. This is like the initial increase in the percentage is what I understand.
Yeah, and then for next year, it'll, because this is just a one-time updated service credit, so we're doing that this year. Next year, we won't do that. They do have an option where they're recurring, but that is like one
Because that ad hoc means that it's just done like a one-time.
time.
So then next year, we'll,
it'll
I'm
be-
just looking at,
It'll be
Yeah,
less.
so
it'll be less,
Yeah.
like substantially less?
I believe so, yeah, because this is like a one-time ad hoc.
And
Increase.
we're not recommending the recurring because we can't afford that.
If it was recurring, then there's like two options. You can do the ad hoc and you can do the recurring. The ad hoc would be just like a one-time deal. The recurring would be that they would do it every year. They would update the service credits every year.
And then we're also not doing the increase to TRMS to 8% because we can't afford that either.
So I was thinking of the 1 million that we saved this year because of the health insurance between the credit and the savings, which won't be there next year. And so moving forward, if we were to have in addition to that, I mean, the 500, it just, where, do you feel comfortable with this budget moving forward? I think that Daniel said his ask was like $40,000 or something.
45,000.
So I don't know.
Based on the
that-
numbers Robert gave me.
I don't know that that really hits the budget that hard, but do you feel comfortable overall with all of what we're doing here? Is this too aggressive?
Well, we can certainly afford that this year. I'm just looking forward 2 years from now.
That's my point.
Yeah, where are we going to be? And we know that we're not going to get the $1 million savings from the health insurance, but when that goes away next year, I think that'll be a good opportunity again to look at the self-funded mechanism. And that'll give us some savings, but it's not going to be $1 million. And so I think that that's why I wanted to stay to any type of increase that we had in the general fund that was reoccurring had to be at or below 2 million. Because that we know we can handle.
So where are we at?
We're at about 2 million.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't, I'd forgotten that 2% was only 45, but.
Just because this is the concern is we have not given them that adjustment that they need. And then I'm starting to already get calls about the health insurance and percentages from 80-20 to 70-30. And so it seems like we saved money, but the argument I'm hearing is saved money at the expense of our employees, and that was definitely not the route we wanted to go. And I know Commissioner Morales made a fantastic point when we had that meeting, saying we wanted to make sure that we took care of our employees, and I agree with that. I want to make sure we are doing that, not only on the health insurance aspect, but we're doing it on this 2% as well.
Well, Commissioner, went out for bids, and that's,
That's for a different day.
Yeah.
I believe a workshop's being requested, but
I will say that I share some of those concerns with and I think I already talked to you about the presentation for the health insurance, but that now we're here, so moving forward, I just don't, I don't see the additional $50,000 or
45 something. I can
45.
put it.
Are you sure that that's what that is? Because that doesn't seem like it's going to make that much of a difference to our budget.
Because the total cost for the one that Commissioner Lopez requested me to do was total cost of $500,594 compared to $401 for the 3%. But some of that $100,000 difference goes through other funds like sanitation, 451. But I think I did a breakout for Commissioner Lopez, and that's how much the difference was in the general fund.
So just to be clear, when we did the Evergreen, we gave 3% to all employees under $75,000.
no,
That was before the
the Evergreen, we adjusted salaries to get up to market, but we split it up over 2 years.
But we also did a COLA of 3%. 'Cause
Yeah, it was
that's
like
the
in
whole purpose
2022, we
of
did a COLA.
Daniel's
That was the first time, right? The first year?
request.
Yeah.
And it was, everybody below 1% was 3%, and then, I mean, everybody below 75 was 3%, and everybody above 75.
That was the first year.
Right.
The second year, which was the final year for the Evergreen, we didn't do any COLAs.
There was none, no.
No, right, but I think what he is saying is that if you give them the 2%, then you make them not whole. Well, yeah, you could say what they didn't get year one, now they would have that at this point. But are you sure that it's $44,000 for all the employees in the city of Harlingen that make less than 75,000, directors excluded.
This has included directors.
That's
So
what,
then maybe it's less.
If it doesn't include directors,
Because here you've got a bucket of money set aside for the increase. Is that not right, Daniel? Is that what you were going to do? You were proposing that the director, this 167,000 has nothing to do with that 2%? Because they have this,
Correct.
right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it'd be 3% salary increase for all employees, 2% on top of that for anyone between 75 and whatnot.
Except-
Up to director position, and then director position would get the 0 to 8% merit.
Right.
like you read.
So could we figure, because what if that number is less? I just, if we can do it, let's do it, but
If-
what is that number?
what if you just authorize us to do that if it's less than 45? Or if it's 45 or less, then we can do that. Enter it in.
It was 45 something. It was like, I'd feel comfortable if you say less than 50. Less than 50, we do it.
Yeah.
okay.
Because I remember it was 45 and 757.
I'm thinking it may be less because it
Correct.
sounds like Daniel and Robert were looking at all, which is what I thought, because you're looking
Right.
at all, which I think we got like 16 directors, so now you're
Right.
excluding the 16 because they're going to be part of this 160,000.
I believe you're
The
correct.
194.
That
So
was-
maybe it's less.
Right?
Yeah, because I did include, like, when I did the projection for you, it did include directors.
So, yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, you're correct, man. It's
So
gonna be less.
50, hopefully it's 30 or
Probably be like that,
whatever.
yeah.
We can, once we figure it out, will you have that by tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I already have it done, I just didn't bring it with me.
Okay, well, I'm sure y'all can figure that out.
We can send out an email tomorrow just to let you know
Okay.
what that number is.
Is that okay with everybody else? I'm just jumping in.
We're just, we're gonna wait it out till tomorrow to look into this a little bit more thoroughly, correct?
No,
Well,
we're
you're
going to
gonna-
defer to
you're gonna
Gabe.
Authorizing 50,000 or
The
less.
authorization, if it's 50 or less, then we can do it.
I'm concerned with those that are making under 75K. What's their percentage?
Oh, well, they're gonna get 3%. Everybody's getting 3%.
Everybody gets 3%, and then from 75 to directorship, they get an extra 2%.
Correct. To make up for the 2% they didn't get in 2023.
Except directors, that doesn't include
Correct.
directors.
And I'm still looking at those that are under 75, because everything has gone sky high in the past 2 years, so that 2% that they got way back when has gone down the tubes faster than they could get another tank of gas.
They got, well, the first year they got, like the mayor mentioned, they got 3% plus the first adjustment of the evergreen. And the second year, they got the second part of the evergreen, but no COLA.
And so, to be clear, the Evergreen increased some substantially, others not so much. So on top of getting them where they were supposed to be competitively across the region, they got a 3%, right? So
Correct.
that way we're, because it wasn't just that under 75, they only got 3%. There was some that stayed the same because their salary was, I guess,
Already at market
competitive
rates?
or at market rate. And then some, there was a big difference. And I know that there was some issues that we talked about in terms of some departments had a little more adjustments than others, and then different levels, which led to some issues with compression and things that we talked about. But they didn't just solely get a 3%. It was different to try to get them to where they were supposed to be based on the position and years of service and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember it got pretty wonky at one point. Lifeguards were making more than our.
That's my point,
Tra-
without going
trash
into
truck,
all of that,
yeah.
yeah, it
was-
just,
So we had to adjust
right.
as appropriate. All right.
All right, so are we finished with this slide?
Yeah, I'll get the calculation of the difference and I'll email it out.
So we agreed that you're going to give us the authorization to keep it under 50. If it does, put it in.
Yes?
Guess so.
Robert, and you get that number tomorrow?
Yes.
We'll send it out. Okay.
The next item is all of the positions that were not funded. That was an additional 25 positions at $1,179,913,000.
Time out. I'm sorry, one last thing, I apologize. Back on the last, was slide 20, we already set aside, I want to make sure that the potential for 8% for all the directors number has been set aside.
Yeah, it's in here.
Correct.
Yeah, that is.
Thank you. I'm sorry, continue, please.
That was a 167 because that's only what's in the general fund, right?
That's what
So that has 25 positions at $1,179,913 that were not funded. So this brings our revenues to 67,845,146. So we did add a slide for proposed sponsorship revenues so that we can track sponsorship requests. So we put down 12,500 for Downtown Improvement District, 12,500 for Visit Harlingen, and these are budget, we're going to propose to budget revenues of 25,000 to try and bring in sponsorships to support those events.
Do they not get this already?
They get some, but not that much.
Do we know what it is that they get?
I can get that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not in addition to what they get, this is what an annual
We're
expectation
going
is?
to budget total for them to get.
Yeah, this is like a metric, so that way we can have a metric to be able to see what they're doing, to make sure that they're getting, because I was having a discussion with Gabe, and most of our events, we fund them like, almost like 100%. And then when you look at other cities get big sponsorships to sponsor, say, like the Freedom Fest or Real Fest or anything like that, and we don't really get that much. So I want to give the CVB and DID like a metric, like, okay, this year, we're expecting you to get $12,500. And then you have to get that mark. If you get that mark, then next budget we'll look at it and say, okay, you did well, you did awesome this year. Let's move it up to 13, 14,000 so that we can get more sponsorship. So it won't just be pure city funding these events.
I'd just like to see where we're at already, because what if this is less than what they're collecting?
I'll get that for you.
Yeah, because then you don't want to lower the bar, right?
Well,
This
I think,
doesn't include like if they reserve spots and they got to pay for that. These are just like straight out sponsorships.
because I think the CVB one, the Visit Harlingen one, I think that one should be higher. Because I know with Real Fest, they should be able
They
to,
collect more than that.
Oh, they do.
They do.
They do, but it's not tracked anywhere in the budget. And so this was just starting the.
To track it.
process. And this is not a goal, this is just to document what we
Right.
need to get. The goal should be substantially higher.
And so I'll find out how much it is, and then if we need to increase it, we can increase it.
Okay.
what do we increase it to? Because I would say the CVB, I mean, with just Real Fest, they should be able to get at least, I want to say about 20,000.
I was going to suggest 50.
50, go for it, I'll go 50.
I don't know what it is that they do collect.
I will
think
get that
we
number.
first, let's look at that, and then, do we have nobody's here?
No, not 50.
And from downtown?
Yeah, because I was talking to Edgar on the phone the day before.
I think she's on vacation.
I was talking to Edgar, I think the day before yesterday on the phone, we were talking about Real Fest, and he was saying that he could probably get the headliner for Real Fest. He was thinking about making the headliner sponsorship like $10,000 or $15,000. So right there, that's already like met that. So I want to make that one higher.
And that-
You know, we just leave it to staff to determine that number, make it a healthy improvement. I think that's what we did with Anna when I first, or maybe our year two, we did it with our projects or grants. We gave them like a goal to hit. I think staff, you just give them a good goal, work with Commissioner Pettis and loop them in. You know,
I agree.
tough but attainable, right?
Well, I just wanted to, you know, I'm pretty sure that they collect more than that to put on the event. So I just don't, like I said, I just don't want to lower the expectation. And while we're trying to do something to improve and have but yeah, I think that it would be good to have maybe Gabe and Rini and staff to kind of figure out if you can give us what they've
Yeah.
already, and if you can copy me on it too, like what they already collect in sponsorships.
Okay.
So that way, at least we know that, and then we go from there.
Robert, just make sure that the number you give to everyone is not inclusive of fees that we charge.
No, just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
I talked to Commissioner
Yeah.
Pettis about that, and he didn't want
Yeah,
that included.
yeah, no, it's got to be just pure sponsorship.
Right, got it. I will email that out. So this just compares our 2025 adopted to our so far proposed working budget. Our expenditures currently are at 69,614,602. Our personnel services, of course, they still are at 38%, 28%, and 34%, for a total of 46.9 million. This is a breakdown by type of expenditure.
Increase in police and fire.
I'm sorry, what?
We're also going to have the increase in police and fire over the years, so are you you're taking that into consideration too?
And the CBA for both those contracts is already in the budget. And then we also took the increase that the CBA had for the ARF and covered that ourselves.
Oh,
So-
So all of it is
Well, but not the entire salary for all the ARF, just the increase.
the increase?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they won't be paying more than they're paying this year.
Okay. I just want to make sure before
Yeah.
we have other issues.
Slide 31 is our funding from the general fund and our hotel motel funds.
Before you go anywhere else on that one,
Yes, sir.
on the birding festival, can we increase that budget? Because we're getting visitors from all over the world.
I think before we do that, and I don't know where we're at with this, but last year I asked for us to, what are we doing to track? Daniel did a great job by bringing over, what's his name? That did a presentation for us. Scott?
Scott Joslow?
Yes, I always say it wrong. Anyhow, we were supposed to be tracking the metrics of these events, and so I don't think that we've done that with the birding festival. I know that, I think it's a great event, and I've gone each year to kind of see what they're doing out there. I know they take up most of the convention center. I've seen the buses from all over, but we really don't have the numbers to
We,
see where we're at.
Right, the host hotel is the Hilton, and they usually, Javier has said that he reserves about 120 rooms, and they take them up the entire week. So that would be, this is probably going to be the easiest one to track, because everybody in town gets stays from the birders, and some even stay at the island.
So did they, so do we have those, because there was a form that he suggested, and I know that I had mentioned it prior to this past birding festival, that we need to capture that data. And then there was some chatter of the birding festival not wanting to expand and not to get bigger, just because of, I don't know what those reasons are. So if we're going to put more funds, we need to see, is that, so that way it becomes a bigger event, which would be fantastic, and how are we going to track that?
The birding festival people have fabulous data. They know how many people are here, how many are Harlingen, how many are Rio Grande Valley, how many are in the United States, how many are in the world. They have all that data, and as Daniel pointed out, that Hilton sells out, and there are people in Airbnbs and hotels, and then all the restaurant food and the bar food and et cetera, et cetera. It's a massive economic impact to us, and they have all that data.
That's fantastic, but we need it.
You know, to that
Ask
point,
them.
we can ask them, but, Robert, I bet you can pull the sales taxes that we collect during that 1 week. Because that would show a bump, right? Like compare it and see
Yeah.
what the difference is with that week compared to. say, the
But we
week
don't
before,
get
week
sales
after.
tax by week.
We're going to track is
We only get it by month.
The hot tax is one,
Yeah.
right, but also it's just sales taxes, because they're eating at restaurants, they're getting gas, they're doing all that stuff, right? And so, see
They
if
only
you
do
can,
the collections by month.
Not by
They don't
week.
break it out daily or weekly.
oh, they don't do it by,
But we could see the month.
Yeah, you can see the month.
that's, it's in April, right?
No, November.
October, November. I was really off.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not
No,
a big.
I agree that they have
Yeah.
all of this.
Oh, they have all the
but-
data.
But the thing is that in order for, like, we are supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be
Correct.
in all of our events, and we want to put money where it is going to bring, we're going to get the best ROI. And I think that this is it, but we need to get that data.
Just ask them. It's that easy.
And if they're not, Yeah, we'll get it, and then we'll make sure that for future years they track it. But I'll reach out to them and see if they,
I remember one of the issues being that maybe not all hotels utilize that form, and that's why our information is partially complete. Partially incomplete.
Why would we
Anyways.
not want- it seems simple.
and besides, the host hotel is a Hilton,
Right.
and, I mean, he vouches for that organization because they fill up his hotel.
Oh, I was there last year when there was like a bus and there were people from all over, and I kind of just stood out there and talked to people from it was really cool to know that they're coming out and spending time here, and they come year after year. But the thing is that we still need to be able to show what that looks like, because the big bulk of our funding goes to them, and we give them a lot of our days at the convention center,
We give them 5 days.
which
And-
is substantial.
Yeah, and just so you know, Mayor, the CVB is funded 100% out of the hot tax. That's almost 600,000.
Yeah, I'm saying as the event, that is our event, which is why I
Oh, yeah.
also want to make sure that we're doing our part.
Yep.
to
It puts
promote it.
Harlingen on the map.
I thought it was you, Mike. Everybody tells me that you're the one that put Harlingen on the map. I guess that was wrong.
You're on tonight.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, okay.
And the other thing circling back, and Commissioner Pettis and I have talked about this in the past, is we need to find a way, Sergio, to track the amount of people that are going to our events. I don't know if you can do it through geofencing, whether you can do it somehow, but I want to be able to start tracking all that information as well. Going to that point, to the mayors.
We can use Place Royale for that.
I was just
And-
gonna
and
say
we
that
have-
right now.
We have the EDC that we partnered with to get that.
Perfect.
They sent me one of our last events, I asked for that information, and they sent me a breakout, but I couldn't,
Understand it?
no.
I get it. But yeah, if you can start getting us that information, including it when we have these events, or, right after we have the event, just email it to us, just to
I'd say
say.
every event.
And
I
and
mean,
that uses,
yeah.
and that uses cell phone data. to track
Perfect.
it, So it's really accurate.
Correct. Thank you.
The only thing is you'll have people with 281, 832, 214, and they live here, but their numbers
the-
are, from other places. That's the only drawback.
That's fine, but at least it tells us how many people are going.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
So the next few slides are just the overview of the budget for special revenue funds, enterprise funds, internal service funds, and all of them combined. And the TMR slide is the last one. So if there's any slide y'all want to go back to and review.
Like I said, the only unknown really that we have is what the 4B is going to fund, but we should know later this week.
This transfer to the Harlingen Downtown Fund, was that an increase after all?
Yes, we increased it by 100,000. That was decided by the commission.
And where is that increase gonna go? Like, is that just for, staff? Is that for events?
No,
Or is that?
It's for events and capital improvements downtown, right? So like replacing all those palm trees, replacing the lights downtown, things like that, beautification, so that, for
And
events.
anything that's in the right of way that.
Could it be
Correct.
just that? I mean, because wouldn't that make a bigger impact, and the events can be more sponsor based, like?
And that, yeah, I would agree with that, right? That 100,000 go towards lighting, things of that nature, right?
Lighting.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Remember, we did a parade like 2 years ago, and we went backwards on Jackson, and then it was like well lit, and then we passed the stage and got super dark, and I was like, what just happened? Like they turned off the lights on us. Yeah, go home. All right, but-
All right.
So we're currently at 665, 131 in revenues over expenditures.
That is all we had for today. We still have another meeting planned for the last Monday of the month. That's the, I forget what date that is.
So we're anticipating the certified totals to come in on July 25th. So shortly after that, we'll do the calculation, and then they'll, should be ready for the next meeting after the 25th,
We have it scheduled for the 28th of July.
the 28th. So we hopefully we'll have it by then.
So this budget is going to be, this budget is based on your estimate of what to expect.
Right.
And so,
From the property tax, we estimated very low on that. We expect it to be a little bit higher.
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll need to ensure if there is a difference in the expenditures because of the property tax, then you'll break that down for us before the meeting, so that way we can,
Yeah, so there won't be a
We
difference in
digest
in the expenditures, but it'll increase the revenue, so that'll give you a little bit more in the expenditures. But I will provide that.
right.
The expenditures, Mayor, shouldn't change between now and then.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm sorry, our amount that we have now
Available.
at 665,000, that could change.
Yes, I will get you that. I'll break it out.
One last position.
No
No,
more
no,
positions.
just for consideration. Another code enforcement officer.
Didn't we already approve one?
No, because staff was talking to me about your side, your neck of the woods, and it's your neck of the woods, Commissioner Morales. Y'all's are having the most growth, and so right now what they have is they have one code enforcement officer per
Yeah.
district.
Ted.
But your district, both of y'all's districts, because you guys are getting such big neighborhoods coming in, it's gonna really, your one person is gonna be stretched really thin. And so there was an option, they didn't send me the map, but adding one more, and that person would essentially be a floater for the two of y'all.
I thought we did that,
We
yeah.
did approve a code compliance.
You already did that.
Yeah, last
officer.
meeting.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's in here,
Now
25
you've got
positions.
6.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, good. If we include them.
It's $52,000 that we budgeted for that position.
Yeah, like Daniel said, this should be in District 5.
And then we also budgeted Ford Ranger for that one.
Yeah.
So you're saying another one?
No,
No, then it was 6.
no, that's not what he said.
That's what I thought he was
Yeah,
saying.
no, I was
Okay.
moving it to 6. For some reason, I forgot that.
Thought he was fishing.
You know, and speaking of code enforcement, and now that Anna is going to be in this department, I'd like to see, have some kind of you've been doing the staff reports at the city commission meetings, and we really need kind of a grasp on how code enforcement is working and and just so that way we have an understanding. We definitely want them to be proactive, right? And just to how they're going to incorporate this 6 code person, so that way we just know. I think that'd be good. And you don't have to push it up, but just if you have, once, I don't know how far out you have the staff reports scheduled, but if you could put it on the list.
Okay. Remember, this won't take effect till October 1st?
Yeah, but we want to know
You
now.
want to know? Okay.
Yeah, we want to know the way that, what they're going to do with this new, I'm just saying because I know that each of us have gotten emails about issues, and those, and today, and I'm sure that you've responded already, haven't had
Yeah.
opportunity, but I get them daily from different districts. I send them to Josh, I send them to Oscar, I send them to you. And so we so that way we have an idea of how they're tackling these issues, and also so the community can understand, because just because you give a citation to somebody to cut their grass doesn't mean that they're going to get it and they're going to immediately cut their grass. And so just to have that educational component, I think it'll be good for the community.
She takes over that department on Wednesday of this week, so maybe,
Give her a few hours this summer.
Wednesday afternoon, she gives that presentation.
So I'm just saying, not at this next commission
yeah.
meeting, but let's have them present, and it doesn't, I mean,
maybe late August, early September,
sure,
before the start
Yeah.
of the fiscal year.
yeah, that'd be great.
I really liked how Shannon did it and Chris did it with, Shannon did it with the mosquito. You kind of walked us through how you guys did the mosquito spraying. And Code
Right.
Enforcement, Public Works did it with the trash pickups, and that stuff was super interesting, and I really appreciated it. So along those lines would be fantastic.
I think,
Parks did a great job doing their presentations.
and everybody else here.
As well, everyone did well.
But no, I think that they're helpful because I think people need to, to really have just a better of understanding of all of the, I know that they're out there working every day.
Agreed.
And so what it takes and what, what area they cover, what their day looks like, and, how to get to all across the city with our 6 people. Yeah, all right. Any other?
So everybody's still good for the 28th,
Yes, sir.
Mondays, 5:30?
I think I already have it on my.
Do we need it? If we've kind of,
Well,
Well, that's when we'll have the tax.
and we'll also have the exact number on what our revenue is going to be, because we'll have the certified tax roll by then.
Correct.
That's supposed to know the park stuff, right?
I'm sorry, what?
The park stuff too?
AED.
For the 4B board?
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully we'll know that this week.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, so, but just keep in mind that once they decide what they're going to be doing, we still have to follow the process of the public hearing and the notice in the paper. So it's going to take at least 2 months. But it'll be in time for the budget, the new budget year.
So once we get those certified totals, the deadlines are kind of go quickly. So we anticipate that we're going to bring to the city commission on the first city commission, August 6th, to set the tax rate. So once we get the calculation, we'll meet on the 28th. And then on the first meeting in August, we'll bring the tax rate to set the tax rate. And then on the second August meeting,
And we should be able to let them know at the last budget workshop of this month what that
Yes.
tax rate's going to be.
yes, we
Right.
will. Then we'll go set that at that meeting. The second meeting in August, we will do our first reading for setting the tax rate and the budget. And then the first week of September, we'll do the second reading. That way we won't
And just,
go out into the second meeting in September.
and just remember that the tax rate probably is going to go down, but because we're generating more revenue, the state requires us to post a tax rate increase, even though it's not one. That's what we're required to publish in the paper.
Can you make
What?
sure that's done, like, I see other cities and how they post it. I want to just make sure that we are sharing it in the way that is required.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very confusing for
Yeah.
people.
I mean, I can prepare it, and I don't know, Saucy, I can send it to Mark Saucy and see if you want to review it.
do you have a city?
I will confirm the legislature has required
several.
confusing
You sure?
language.
I will.
It does have confusing, but they're very specific on what
They're very specific.
you need to use.
And I've always argued with Robert, telling him, look, they tell you what you have to put in, but they don't tell you that you can't put more stuff in, so they just put that
An
the rate's actually
explanation.
going down, yeah.
Yeah.
And
We need context.
Well, it's
Or by-
it's also important, what is shared on this dais and that explanation to the community is
Right.
important.
And one of the things that I thought about doing also was that, look, if that's what you've got to post, fine, let's do that. But why can't we take out another ad saying, are your rates going down? And it's gone down every year by this much, and just publish that.
Yeah, I think an educational campaign before we actually get to that point would be probably beneficial.
Because when you look at, the law is very clear.
Yeah.
With with the state of Texas, you can only have an additional 3.5% period.
Period.
You can't have any more than that. So when, you hear 10%, 8%, 12%, or whatever percentage, we know that the law permits 3.5%. So 3.5% each year, and then you've got, how much do we have of unfunded? $6 million or so. So it's impossible to fund everything because you only have that
That small increase,
3.5%. But I think because of the way that it is written, people, I think, get confused.
I agree.
in
I
that
think it
regard.
is confusing wording.
But I'm sure you'll do a great job, and I'll send you some samples.
But once we get that, we'll prepare the wording. Actually, we can go out there and get the wording as it is and start looking at it, working with it, providing it to you so you can kind of see it, and to Mr. Saucy so that he can start reviewing it as well to make sure that the wording is, if there's any way we can change it, or not change it, but supplement it.
Well, we
so
just
that
want it to
it's-
be accurate and
Right.
what is required by the state. And I think that the first year they did a good job putting out a video and with the explanation. Maybe they can just recycle that
I
video,
did like that video. It was pretty neat.
because it's still the same information.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else? Because Mike is itching to leave over here.
So we'll see you on the 28th.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your hard work.
Wow, those are.